Hey everybody, it's Rod Teets. Got another recipe for you here tonight. And I'm using one of my favorite ingredients, Jim Beam. The liquor store is not only a place to get your favorite adult beverages, but it's also an ingredient store for the pellet grill. You can get wine, you can get Jack Daniels, you can get vodka, gin, and our favorite Jim Beam. So what we're gonna make today, I got some chicken wings here. We're gonna make a maple glazed chicken wing, bourbon glaze with the Jim Beam, but we're also gonna do a pre-step and we're gonna brine with Jim Beam. So I got my brining bucket out, and what I've done already is I poured in 1 quart of apple cider. We're actually gonna put in 2 quarts of apple cider tonight. I've got 2 quarts of water in here as well. Then I got a 1/2 cup of the Magic Jim. I got 1 cup of maple syrup. Cup of kosher salt. And a cup of brown sugar. So what we're gonna do, some of you guys might remember, we stir up our brine, get it mixed up real well. And then if you remember a couple weeks back, I taught you the process of shocking the brine. So now we're gonna throw some ice in our brine to shock it and set that brine up. Give it another little stir. And then we're going to throw in our chicken wings. Now I'm going to let this sit overnight, and it's going to make a fantastic brine. And then tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to come back, we're going to put these on the smoker, and then we're going to make a Jim Beam glaze. But I'm also going to hit it with a rub. I'm going to teach you a rub that we're going to put on this as well. And you are going to see a recipe that is one of my favorites. This is a recipe that if you take it to a party, people will be absolutely gaga over, because it is just got a really great flavor, something that most people have never tasted before. So stay tuned. I'm going to take you to the next step, which is to make the rub, and then we're going to go out to the smoker, and then we're going to hit it with a glaze and enjoy some chicken wings. Okay, welcome back everybody. So here are the chicken wings after they were in the brining bucket. And if you remember yesterday, the recipe on the chicken wings had some maple syrup, and it had this great beverage, Jim Beam. So the wings have got a nice kind of golden brown look to them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make up our rub. Okay. So I got my bag started a little bit. And so to make up this rub, I got my brown sugar. I've got some paprika, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some cumin, some black pepper, and then some kosher salt. So we're going to put that all in the bag. We're going to shake her up to make a great rub. And this rub, I like to blend the brown sugar with the maple syrup. It always seems to be a real home run. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're sprinkling rub all over these beautiful wings. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the fridge for a while. I think tonight I'm just going to put them in overnight. I'm going to put them in overnight tonight. Just let you know they're going to be in for about 8 hours tonight. And then tomorrow morning I'm going to smoke these up. But this is a great rub. It's very fine. You can kind of see how it goes on. I already seasoned the other side. And then for easy cleanup, when you're doing this, you just throw a little bit of parchment paper down underneath your pan, and you can just put the ribs right into the fridge the wings right into the fridge covered up, and you pull the parchment paper and you just wrap it up and toss it in the garbage, and away you go. You're all done. So here are my wings, all seasoned. I really lathered them up good. Tomorrow they're gonna go on the smoker. After they get to temperature, then we're gonna hit them with a bourbon glaze, and they're gonna be done. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is what the chicken wings look like after sitting in the refrigerator overnight. And that rub has really grabbed onto them. So remember, what we're making here is our Jack Daniel's Bourbon Maple Glazed chicken wings. And they've been brined in the Jack Daniel's. So we're gonna go out to the smoker right now and we're gonna toss them on. Okay, I'm out at the smoker and I set my grill temp today at 225. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let these smoke a little bit and then I'll crank it up. I'm gonna go into my 15-minute flip rotation. So you'll see me flip every 15 minutes, or that's what I'll be doing anyway. So let's get these bad boys on the smoker and we'll start flipping them, and in a minute I'm going to go in and I'm going to make the glaze that's going to go on the top and that we're going to toss on the wings when they're done, and that's the bourbon glaze. So stay tuned as we continue forward with this great recipe. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm going to work on the glaze that's going to go on these beautiful chicken wings, these maple bourbon chicken wings. And what the recipe calls for is you start with butter and you drop that in a pan, and I got my stove set at low. And then what it wants us to do, I've got some onions here, and these are white onions, and it wants us to let these cook for 2 to 3 minutes so that they kind of get sauteed first. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've been stirring my onions up in the butter for 2 to 3 minutes, and I think the goal here is you just basically get the onions covered in butter. They look scrumptious. And then what we do is we add our maple syrup. We add our magic ingredient, the key featured ingredient today, the Jim Beam. I'm going to stir this just a little bit here, just for a second. Then we add some tomato paste. We add some black pepper. Some salt. I used pink salt today. Try something different. And then some ground up rosemary. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this up and let it simmer on low for 5 minutes. And then we're just going to let her sit on the stove, and we'll use it as our glaze as the chicken wings get finished. Stay tuned. I'm out at the smoker and I've done 3 flips, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to check internal temperature. Well, that one's done. These again are those bourbon glazed chicken wings. This one's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather them up off the grill, and then I'm going to take them in the house, and then we're going to glaze them. Okay, so I got all these wings up to 175, 180 on the smoker. And the one thing when you go with this maple bourbon brine and you put them out there, you get just this beautiful, beautiful golden color on your wings. So here is my glaze. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just brush this glaze on these wings, and I'm going to get it all over them. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to go out to the smoker, and I'm just going to put I'm going to put them back on the smoker in this pan for probably about 5 to 7 minutes. And then you know what? Voila, we're going to be at the moment of truth. So again, these are my a recipe of maple bourbon glazed chicken wings. And stay tuned as we're gonna be out on the smoker in just a minute. Okay, so here they are all glazed up. They got a nice shine to them. They smell awesome. I raised my smoker temp up to 300, and I'm just gonna throw them on now, and I'm just gonna let them sit here for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna get to the moment of truth. We're gonna try a few and see how we did. All right, everybody, here we go. I just took these off the smoker. They were sitting for 5 minutes on the smoker, and if you could just smell these things, it's unbelievable how good they smell. So what I'm doing now is take a couple of these bad boys and throw them here on my plate. Kind of take a look at them, how they look. They just look so scrumptious. Again, these are the Bourbon maple glazed smoked chicken wings. And now we're to the famous moment of truth. And this one I look forward to, by the way. So here we go. They're a little sticky. You gotta be a little careful when you eat these bad boys. Now, they're sweet. And when you cook with bourbon, it's hard to explain, but you get like a kind of a hot, but it's not a hot smell. I can't really explain it. It's just like a smoke smell. But these are my absolute favorite. They're absolutely wonderful. And I know I'm probably a little messy because these are something messy to eat. You're gonna want wet wipes with them. But they are absolutely incredible. So, if you want this recipe, just email me at rodteets@gmail.com, rodteets@gmail.com, and I'll send it out to you. And again, these are the famous bourbon glazed smoked chicken wings. Hope you make them and enjoy them.